Okay, good evening. We're going to go ahead and take roll.
Schlemini.
I'm here.
Thunderberg. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
McFarland.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Zimmers.
Here.
That's all present.
President's report. I just want to start out by saying I know there are some happy people in this town today since school started. And I know the first day, teachers are really excited, kids are really excited to be back. You know, a lot of them will tell you that they're not, but they are because, you know, they're now in a routine and so they're going to be happy to get back in the swing of things. So, sound like we had a great day today, a good start. Sure the superintendent's going to talk about it later, about how things went today. One of the things I want to talk about today, and I've talked about this before, I've talked to employee groups about it, and I want to make sure that I still drive this point home. We, as a school district, as schools, need to communicate endlessly, not only to our parents, but to our community about the good things that we're doing in our school district. We not only need to talk to them about it, I want to encourage schools to invite people in. If you're a community member that's not directly associated with the school, if you live in the area of a school, make an appointment. If you work near a school, make an appointment to go see a school. We want people to form opinions about our school district based on what they're seeing, not what they're hearing secondhand. And so if you're in the community, start making appointments to go visit our schools. When we have new people that come to this community, we want those people to choose us. When we have people going to realtors to buy a home, we want those realtors to choose us because we have a great educational system here, but we need to get the word out about the good things that we're doing. So having said that, we're going to go to board salutes, and we'll start, Mr. McFarland.
I'm not happy yet. ELC doesn't start until September 2nd.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I want to salute Mr. Grossen at Springfield High. Freshman Ford happened, was that last week? And he was the only principal to, I know I got a voicemail and an email from him. I know I got an email from Lanphier. But hopefully next year we can get at least someone from each high school to let us know, to come greet the kids, and parents are showing up. Just I think it's good for the board, but I want to thank Mr. Grossen for reaching out to a board member and asking to come. And then today I was able to take some time away from work and went to 8 schools today. I was very busy. And I actually got to have lunch with the superintendent at Lanphier High School with Mr. Doss and some of the administration there, and got to talk to a bunch of kids. So we had a really good time, and it was a good day. So everybody is excited for the new school year. So,
Ms. Johnson.
I just want to welcome everybody back to school, and hopefully everybody had a good day. I don't like to interfere when people are trying to get set up, so at some point I've had a lot of conversations. I don't have the free time that somebody else has. But
Yeah.
we're looking forward to a great school year. We've got a lot of different people in place, and it seems like things are starting off on almost on a very good foot. I've worked a lot the last 2 weeks trying to help people get into schools and settle some minor incidences, but I've got a few more to go. I've got a couple things to add to the list, so before the evening is over, I'll be putting them on your plate. That's what it's here for.
I think some of the things that we did last year that Mike had a lot to do with, streamlined the process of getting kids ready to go to school, parents knowing about it, places where kids could get, and people very knowingly going to middle schools to get it where these kids can get in and stay in. And I think that's, we did a couple things right. We're doing all right.
I think we are doing things right. I just don't want us to forget that as we have moved on and moved up and forward, we've had some changes on the board, and some of the chaos that was created was internal chaos that was created. So I think that we have we've become bigger than that, and hopefully we will continue to progress. I mean, there's some people that I see and know, everybody that's moved along and moved up. We've created some opportunities, and so, you know, life goes on.
Ms. Vandenberg.
I just wanted to salute all the teachers and staff and administrators who came out for the pep rally. That's what I called it. It was pep rally. It was a good time, and the Southeast Sensations were awesome. I saw Tiffany at Cherryberry the other night and complimented her and her kids. It was really fun, and it was a great way to kick off the school year. And then, Mr. Shaver, because I haven't saluted you yet this school year, I'll start by saluting you. You are the hardest worker and your staff over the summer, so kudos to you for having our buildings ready and in good shape, and thank you so much for all the hard work over the summer.
You're welcome. I'll pass it on to the design teams, construction teams, and the school staff and custodial staff.
Thank you. You're going to talk again now?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I have a few. I also went to Freshman Forward, Mr. What, Brittany? No, she said she didn't. But I went to the parent meeting the night before, and they had several people show up, and I'm really glad I went to it because I learned a lot of things about Springfield High and their clubs and their booster clubs and PTO, so I'm glad I attended that, and they had good attendance that night. I was only able to go to one school today. I was in the area, so I stopped by Lincoln Magnet. They've gotten off to a good start. Seems like things are going well there. And last week, and I would like to thank Mr. McVeigh for making this happen. We had Marty Hewitt in from Kansas City to do BIS training. It's a behavior program that we have in the district in addition to PBIS, and we had schools represented from Franklin, Grant, Douglas, Fairview, and Washington. And were there other schools that showed up in the afternoon? I was just there for the morning. Okay. And she will be back a few more times this year. And again, thank you, Mr. McVeigh, for making that happen. I really appreciate it. Okay. Now under discussion items, 4.1, old business. Any old business?
Did we want to bring up 911?
I'm sorry, I'm skipping something here, thank you. We're going to have a speaker come up and talk to us about a Teacher Appreciation Day. This is Nina Walthall from the Illinois State Museum, and we'd like to welcome her just to give us some details on that event.
Thank you. We're very excited to offer this for teachers, and we want to invite the board also. What we do is provide an opportunity for teachers who are returning back in the fall to have an opportunity to win a lot of field trips. There's been a lot of research on the benefit of field trips for students, and the jury is out. You know, the field trips are beneficial. So the Springfield Public Schools Foundation voted to give more money for field trips this year. So we're doing that. We partner with the foundation, and we have a lot of excellent sponsors who help us provide a really nice evening. We'll have John James Audubon there. Actually, it's Brian Fox Ellis, who's a first-person interpreter. We've asked a jazz band to come. We'll have excellent catered food, and the teachers will have a great evening visiting with each other and hopefully winning a lot of field trips and door prizes. I'll just tell you our sponsors briefly, and I'll probably read those off so I don't leave anyone out, but we have the Illinois Educators Credit Union, Horace Mann, the Lincoln Orbit Earth Science Society, that's our local rock and mineral club in case you're not familiar with them, SIU School of Medicine, SEA, IEA, RW Troxel, White Oaks Mall, Barnes & Noble, and the Land of Lincoln Retired Teachers is a new sponsor this year, as is the Springfield Principals Association. We're very excited about that. So we want you to know you're welcome to come and join us. The date is Thursday, August the 28th, and the time is from 4 to 7. You don't have to stay the whole time. Just stop by, join in, say hello to the teachers, and wish them a good year and a great evening, and we'll have a good time. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think this is a prime example. Illinois State Museum has really stepped up in partnering with the district. I think we need, I talked about this a little bit last year, I think we need to do more of this. We have so much expertise in this town. We need to start partnering with institutions in town that have all this knowledge and expertise, and I think we're getting there. We're starting to do more of it, but I think we need to continue. Okay. Discussion items, 4.1, old business. Does anyone have any questions? I do have one point of old business. We're voting later about the board policy. Does anybody have any questions or concerns or comments?
I saw a couple more got updated from our last discussion, so that's great. Thank you.
Any other? Hearing none. New business? Does anybody have any new business they'd like to bring?
Yeah, I've got just one, and we could do it a month from now or whatnot. And this deals with the buildings in the district. I know we talk about once a year, but I'd like to have Daryl maybe bring us up to speed of all the buildings we have, mobile units, all that, because I was going to the 8 different schools today. We have a lot of small schools, big schools, big classrooms. I just kind of look at where we're at going forward, future of buildings in the district, because we're having ribbon cutting this Friday for Enos School, which is a brand new school, and I think new schools. But I want us to look at that here in about a month, if we can do that.
Sure can.
Darryl, can you explain to him about the Enos sign while we're on that?
Yeah.
I only got 2 schools in my sub-district. That's one of them. And,
The sign for Enos was a piece of the masonry that salvaged off the existing building, and unfortunately, it did crack in the removal process. We still built it into the sign, the masonry sign that we put up. It's not finished yet. It's still slated to get a cap on top of that and repaired. Well, it gives it a little character.
So it's not a new piece of stone, it's a very old piece of stone.
my wife said, well, it's old. It may look old. And I was like, what? There's a big crack down the middle of it.
It was very old. That was done also with when Ridgely was renovated. Unfortunately, the Ridgely sign, it broke into, from my understanding, of people telling me it broke into several pieces, unrepairable. But this one was only 2, so we gave it a shot.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other new business?
Yes. I had a constituent ask me why we don't give more timely notification when a student owes the district money rather than waiting 2 weeks before they graduate. This is a problem that we need to remedy so that a parent is not trying to come up with a bunch of money and they're buying graduation items at the same time. So can we look into, if Adam still owes some money from his freshman year, we don't want to wait till he's a senior.
Why did you choose Adam?
Because he's standing out tonight. And
Better him than me.
so that's a problem that needs to be remedied.
Sure.
And we need to do that on a more timely and efficient basis. You know what I mean?
We'll look into our practice on that.
Okay, so, so if they owe it freshman year, then they should be trying to remedy that for the end of the freshman year, because you know who's assigned a book and whether they have a book or not, or who's assigned a computer and whether they have a computer or not. They owe book fees that get turned in to collection. So, you got the list. Let's try to be more forward-thinking with it.
They do get 2 notices during the school year.
Well, unfortunately, if they're about to graduate and the parent has had some financial difficulty, maybe we can find a way to help them within the community or somehow get those fees taken care of and not wait till the last minute. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, any other new business? Hearing none, we'll move on to business report.
Mr. Basco?
President Zimmer's, members of the board, the district ended the month of July with a cash balance of $28 million in the bank for all funds. Interest rates with Illinois funds averaged 0.012% during July. Earned interest for the month and fiscal year to date was about $4,600. Schedule of investments is also attached with a total of $16.2 million currently being invested.
Any questions or concerns? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
All right, it's a great day. We're back in session. So very exciting today. Myself and each of my cabinet members were out in every single school today, making sure we checked on how things were going, if there was any concerns, and just out seeing students having a good time. And in most schools, we saw students going over the routines, doing those great things in the classroom to kind of meet and greet their teachers, to really open up that culture of learning in that environment that we want to see. I was at both Du Bois and Butler and Blackhawk and Lanphier High School and Lincoln Magnet School, and in every school I saw some of the same things happening, and I really appreciated seeing that consistency across the district. And so Krista and Carolyn, I just give a shout out to all the teachers and all the support staff and all the secretaries and all the custodians. Those buildings were popping today with shine, and it looked great. And even at Isle School, where I can give a shout out to Daryl as well, we had custodians in that building all weekend making sure that it was up to where it needed to be today, so that all students could be in their classrooms learning and have that cool air flowing through the building. It just looks wonderful over there. I do know later on that we're going to vote on a change order to kind of support some of the structural work that we had to do inside Isles, and this is kind of in response to a question that you had, Mrs. Moore. Basically, I don't know, Daryl, if you want to you can maybe summarize this better, but there was, we had to do a change order that was over the amount that usually we come, but it had to happen right away, and this is a very old building, and sometimes things that we can't see in the previous, bid happen when we dig into an old building such as that. So do you want to explain any further?
Certainly. We're working with a 1905, 1922 building. That's the majority of the building. There was a 91 addition onto that building. We were installing rooms for basically creating rooms above the stairwells for HVAC equipment. Structural steel needed to be installed. When we went to open those walls up to attach the steel beams to those walls, they weren't what we expected, unforeseen condition. So we had to make some arrangements to reinforce those walls a little bit in order to carry the load of the flooring. And up on the roof there was another condition similar to that for structural. And then there's electrical items that, when you get into 100 years of different renovations on a building, we corrected for electrical issues on that also.
And we do have 10% contingency, and this was only 2.6% of that contingency, so we were within. It feels like it.
Also, that comes out of our health, life, safety bond issue,
right,
which we're in. We're within budget of our original allotment for that.
Seems like we should have a TV show or something, where you get in there and you find those things.
Make that budget.
Fix it up, or? Are there any further questions about that? No, does that make sense? Okay, great. And, a lot of times when people over here to my left want to know about our numbers, I can give you our balance, so to speak, today, knowing that we do have students that come to us throughout the year and that maybe not be represented in this numbers, but it's pretty close. We're at 14,587. And we were, I think last year, our first day, we were at 14,600 or so. So we're very close, and we know that we still have students that come in these first few days and come in also to us after the long weekend coming up. So we expect to be where we need to be and very steady with our attendance. And we feel pretty good about those numbers today, getting those into our system. I do want to give also a shout out to the Public School Foundation providing agendas to all of our freshmen this year through Freshman Forward. They funded that, and so each student that came in as a freshman got a little agenda with their own logo, so it either had a senator, a lion, or a Spartan on the front, and it was a nice thing that they can use each and every day throughout the year, and it's something that the teachers actually want them to use, so really big shout out for them for doing that. They did that kind of instead of the t-shirts. Sometimes when you have a shirt that says freshman on it, they don't want to wear it. So they wanted to get them something that was specifically something that they could use each and every day. I guess I speak from, I have a a child in my home that never wore it again after that. But it is a great event. It really motivates them. It gets them really plugged into the school, all the people. So a really big shout out to all the people who do the Freshman Forward, as well as those who do the 6th grade orientation as well at the middle schools, because we know those transition periods are hard. In 6th grade, they ride the bus. They get to get that feel of where they get on and get off and get the routine down of coming into school, get to get their locker. They have a chance to operate it and move around. So we're really excited for the work that happened in our middle and high schools to prepare our students with that transition. So that's kind of where we are right now with the first day of school. It was exciting to be out in the buildings. Does any of my team have any stories? Because it was great, I know. Anybody want to share? Okay.
I had the pleasure of going to Matheny this morning when the buses pulled up, and of course we have a new principal, Mrs. Kathy Hulcher, and the boys and girls at Matheny were greeting each other after their summer vacation. I saw a lot of young ladies hugging and glad to see each other, and a lot of greeting teachers. The general atmosphere was one of what I would refer to as elation. It was just great to see.
And a shout out to Mr. Jordan, who not only was starting his first day as new principal at a new elementary school here in town, he also was interviewed by Channel 20 right out of the gate today. But he was happy to do that because he's certainly excited to be the principal of Blackhawk. So most definitely. If you drive by Springfield High School down Lewis Street, you'll also get to see some new pictures that are on the front of the science wing. It's a part of something called Inside Out SHS. So they had a photographer come in, take pictures of students. It's kind of about their culture piece that they have. It's called We Are Individuals, We Are United, We Are Springfield. And so there's some pictures of different, I think 19 different students that are going across the front of the science wing. And they actually modeled this off of Wake Forest University, who said Inside Wake, and that's how they kind of did this, and somebody saw it, and it's a pretty neat thing. So I hope everybody can drive by and see that. It's just a way that they're working to build their student culture and their commitment to really being a learning community for their students. So we're excited for that. The other question we get asked the most about is, how are those immunizations and physicals going? We are not necessarily ready to give you the numbers today on each and every school and what our total is, but what happens on the first day of school is everybody brings their physical in or their shot records, and it goes on the secretary's desk, and she gets it to the nurse, and they're trying to wade through those numbers. But we do feel an overwhelming support from the different clinics that we had and the reach out that those numbers are going to come in quite well. One of the responses from the nurses was that it's not the whole package that's missing, it's just one part of the physical needs to be filled out, or it needs to be signed, or the immunizations were missing. So our nurses are going to be working diligently over the next few days to really clean up that list, know exactly what we need to do, and then they'll reach out and work with parents and work alongside our community organizations that have reached out so greatly so that we can get the rest of those physicals and immunizations in, because we know we had over 240 students take place in our getting our physicals and our shots with those. So we're very proud of that number, and we have schools that are just down with maybe 12 or 15 kids that have physicals out. And we know that that's not, they just haven't had them. We know that might be on the desk or need to be assessed. So we'll get those numbers. I know the media is interested in it, and we'll get those numbers out to the school and the school board as well, so that you can have a better understanding of where we stand, because we are working on the 10-day rule. So the Monday after Labor Day weekend will be the date for exclusion if we don't have those in. So we definitely want to work very tight with our families and communicate that in a very timely manner about who needs to get that assistance. So that's where I am. I did want to bring up that at the last meeting we gave to you in your packet tonight just the application. It really hasn't changed much for the school board member that you all talked about, and I just wanted to get is everybody still committed to having the school board member and the student member, right?
Sooner rather than later, yes.
Yes. Okay.
I would just ask, as I asked before, Mrs. Gill, if there's a way that you and your cabinet could maybe think about how this experience could be more meaningful for students. Our meetings tend to be long. The kids making a commitment to 2 meetings a month when they're seniors, it's pretty difficult for them. And having watched the students sit here, maybe there's a better way we could structure the experience for them.
Sure, we can put our heads together and come back and maybe talk with them and see what they want to do. And Sheree and I, we can put our brainstorm what might be a really good, meaningful experience and what opportunities they can participate in where they're going to learn and grow.
Because we don't want it to be boring.
I'm trying to make them as exciting as possible.
All you gotta do is find a geek. It won't be boring.
Well, that's true.
All right, so that's it. Are there any other questions of me?
I
Wait a
do.
minute.
Okay.
Mine's not really a question. I just wondered if you would take this opportunity to remind people again, and I think the district's done a very good job of communicating this, all of you. The Wednesday early out starts this Wednesday.
Oh, yes, okay. I should do that.
Yeah.
The Wednesday early dismissal starts this Wednesday and goes every Wednesday throughout the school year. So just listen to that communication from your building. We know they're communicating it 7 ways, 7 different times, and we did at registration, but they will be out that 1 hour. We do have that option for scope, which is a $7 fee for 1 time a week on Wednesdays. If you're already in the afternoon scope program, that's just included. So we're excited to have that opportunity at the school level to support families and students. And once again, the purpose of this early dismissal is to provide teachers with that time to really have time to get that professional development and also work together and collaborate around curriculum and instruction and good teaching practices. And they're dedicated to use that time in a wise way, and we're working together with the union to have the accountability form that we've talked about in place so we know what the teachers are doing during that time. And so we're excited to get that kicked off for our regular school calendar schools that started this week on this Wednesday.
Can you kind of give us an update, because the 2 balanced calendar schools have had, 3-4 weeks now of school already, how those are going in those 2 schools?
It's going well. We've had, my team has been out at the schools on all of the Wednesdays that we've had to make sure that things were going smoothly. And, the parents have been there to pick them up, and some of them are taking part in scope, so it's really been successful. I don't know, do you have anything else to add, Sheila?
We haven't had any issues with late pickup or any of those things. The principals and staff have done a phenomenal job of getting the information out. As a matter of fact, today, many of them put it on their websites. They're sending a phone. We're doing a parent link phone call tomorrow to remind families as well. And we're also sending home a half sheet just to remind the parents, just because that's the same things we did for Southern View and Graham, and it worked out wonderful.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Could we get, at some point in time, some kind of a map, curriculum type thing that's going to visit for us by topic? What are the things that they're going to be doing on these Wednesdays?
Sure, yes.
So that we have a little bit better feel for it.
You have something? You said wait. You said wait.
So got to where I was going on that, and I lost my train of thought on the other one. But I would like to see not only talk about the kids getting out early. I want to know what we're doing, what the teachers are doing.
Sure.
And what that's
Well, I can
gonna
tell
look
you
like.
one whole session at Graham and Southern View is related around the report card and how teachers need to get on and how they put everything into their grade book and how it goes right into the report card, and there's some new things that we needed to teach them, and it was just the right amount of time to give that information to them. It wasn't, we didn't need to wait till a full day we had out. We could just give them that information and they were prepared and ready to go, so that's one of the options. And
They've also been working with the SLOs, the Student Learning Objectives, with the new teacher evaluation. So we've been spending time with them, teaching them how to do that as well. And we do have a form that each classroom teacher has to complete as they're during their collaboration time, and each principal has to report to their supervisor what the plan is up front. So in a month's notice, we need to know what their plan is the next month coming up, what topics they're going to cover, how they're going to do it, and then they send back to us later what the outcome was and how it connects to their school improvement plan. So we really have it an opportunity for us to hear everything that we need to know, and then we'll be able to give you a report each month, or however you like to have it. We'll have that information from each school.
And the list is very specific on how that time can be used, and that was done in collaboration with our union and a memorandum of understanding, so we feel very supported and very, very organized about it as we move forward.
Okay, so what kind of, partially in that regard, but not really, what kind of information can you share with the general public about how teachers are going to be evaluated. Is there someplace on the website where those criteria are kind of listed or something like that?
Evaluation as far as their performance or?
Teacher evaluation period, if it's going to affect their job, so that people are
Aware of it.
Yes,
what
we
need to do.
follow a real specific evaluation plan called the Danielson model that the teachers have been receiving training on throughout the last 2 years, actually 3. It started with some pilot schools, and so you're asking, are those different areas which they're evaluated on listed publicly for the parents or the community to see?
Yeah, so they just know,
Some of those
how
different,
we're
some of
going
the
to handle
language and how we handle it.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think it's only fair that parents know.
Well, we do have 4 main areas in which they are evaluated, and they're broken down. They're called 4 domains.
Okay,
And
so
they're
that's on the
broken
website,
down.
right?
And we can get that on the website for you.
I'm not
Each-
sure what she's asking for is like a parent side of that.
A
I
parent-
think
okay.
all of ours, I think, is sort of an internal working
Yeah.
documents that we have access to, but I think you're just asking for a definition of what our evaluation plan is and what those 4 domains mean, and we could certainly
We can
do
do that.
that.
That'd be a good idea.
We
do
could
that.
certainly do that.
Put it in language which others
Sure.
understand.
I seem to remember a flow chart we saw several years ago that may be helpful too, kind of like point A to point B and so forth.
Okay.
The timeline. Sure.
These problems are nothing.
Anything else?
These are good little problems. Life is sweet. Won't last, but
Okay, now on to consent action items.
I recommend approval of the consent action items 8.2 through 8.5 as described in the corresponding resolutions.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Have been moved and seconded. Does anybody have any discussion, any concerns?
I have a question. Just looking at that copy paper bid, who got the contract?
It was a tie on that bid, so we're gonna split the bid between the 2 companies.
So,
I don't see that.
it says on here, company has
Oh, yeah.
forfeited
Yeah, yeah.
award. What does that mean?
Oh, well, that's a new development that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
So one of the 2 companies only receiving half decided to forfeit their
The one
half.
from Ohio's out then. Okay, so it's that's a lot.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, let's take a vote.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes. Motion carries.
Okay, on to roll call action items.
Mr. Sherman?
President Zimmers and members of the board, superintendent recommends adoption of the personnel recommendations with a few changes. Page 2, certified new hire, rehire, item 7. Position should be kindergarten Ridgely, 1 year only. Page 4, letter D, classified leave of absence, item 6. Effective dates of leave of absence should be August 25th through September 11th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, we'll take roll.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Present.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
I just want to make a statement that under the addendum, first item, first individual A, I'm reluctantly voting yes for this resignation because I can understand an individual's need to be there for their family, but I think it's also important that an individual fulfills their contract. And the other thing too, thinking about this individual and the ramifications on our school district, it kind of drives home the importance of encouraging to grow your own program and just having more of our students encouraged to be teachers and to come back to our district to be teachers. So I am voting yes, but it's reluctant. Understood.
Zimmers.
Yes.
Flamini, Thunderbird.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes and the noted abstention.
Okay, 9.2.
Okay, 9.2, I want to, you want me to recognize the people who we just hired? We have a few
sure.
in the crowd here today. I just want to say thank you, because this was a very quick resignation. I just want to thank the people that I'm about to introduce to the crowd, because they were able to be flexible and work quickly, and we really appreciate your service to our district, and really are excited to have you on board. So taking over as principal at Southern View Elementary on very short notice is Bob Mitchell. Thank you. So he's been a lifelong. Do you have anybody with you tonight you'd like to introduce, or you're hanging solo because everybody else is at home getting ready for school? So Bob has been serving as a guidance dean over at Grant Middle School the last few years, 6 years, I think, and he's excited to be back in elementary and serving Southern View School, and they are glad to have him on the ground. And just thank you to Ms. Boozer for all the work you did to help with that transition and make it smooth, and get over there and talk with the students and the families, and work alongside Mr. Mitchell. So I know it's going to be a great program for Southern View Elementary. And taking over for Bob Mitchell at Grant Middle School is Brian Hoffick. He's here today, and do you have somebody here as well?
My youngest son was, it's his birthday today.
She is legendary at Williamsville.
Oh,
She looks real excited too.
Yeah. Thank you. So he was over at Jefferson Middle School and very quickly shifted over to help us at Grant Middle School, where you had served as an intern years ago. So you'll know some of the teachers and families there, and we appreciate your dedication doing that on quick notice. And then also we have Christina Rama here today, and she's taking over as guidance dean at Jefferson. Is there anybody you'd like to introduce?
I've got my boyfriend Tyler with me, and then my wonderful principal, Mrs.
All right. And just thank you, Christine. I know you did a fabulous job at our middle school summer school program, and you were there, and moving from intern into this role at the same school, you'll be poised and ready to go. And then also introducing Brian Sanders tonight as intern at Jefferson Middle School. You are poised to be ready in the classroom, and we ask you to kind of reshift thinking and take over this important role over at Jefferson to help their program. So we really appreciate, once again, your flexibility and willingness to go at the last minute. So it is an idea that, and what you said we took heart, is that one person leaving can make a shift across our system, but I also know that I have a team ready to go and poised to make a difference in District 186, and I'm proud to have everybody on board. So thank you.
And I think this points to the fact that our people get such good training in this district that for these moves, it's not that big a deal, because these people are so well trained they can go anywhere in the district and do what they need to do. So proud of all you guys. I know all of you. I even know a boyfriend that I had in school when I was in Jefferson. So
Any stories?
Jefferson through and through.
a lot of stories, but we won't go there, right? Mr. Stop, we won't go. No, just kidding.
Okay, so we're moving on to 9.2 now. Whereas the Board of Education of the Springfield School District 186 maintains board policy manuals giving direction to the district, and whereas such policy and manuals reflect case law, legal rulings, legislation, and district practice, now therefore be it resolved that the board approves the attached reviewed and revised policies.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion.
Any discussion?
Just again, thank you to Bob Hill for doing this.
Yes.
This was a monumental task. There's a lot of good changes in here, and work in
We've been
progress
able to
continues.
work well with the newest laws that we just got and put those in there. And one thing that Donna brought to my attention is where it talked about reviewing them annually. We changed it on a timely manner, and I think at least annually is what we kind of meant by that, because some of these laws change mid-year, and we really need to update that policy, not just annually, but as they come about. So we're committed to do that and stay on top of it. So I think we'll add that line in annually, at least annually in there, to make that seem a little bit more shored up. But everything else is as is.
Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, let's take roll.
Lopez.
Aye.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes. The motion carries.
9.3.
Daryl, would you like to read the change order?
Certainly. President Zimmers and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the following resolution. Whereas the Board of Education has previously approved a bid from the listed contractor, and whereas the architect for the project has recommended approval of change order which complies with the applicable provisions of the Illinois revised statutes, and whereas sufficient funds exist to provide payment for additional requested change in this contract, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education approves the following change order and directs the superintendent to execute the necessary documents on behalf of the board. And that is, as we discussed earlier, for Isles School in the amount of $120,539.87.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion or questions?
What is it? What's the change?
As we discussed, that was for structural supports in the roof and in the masonry walls. Also, CWLP had us change the transformer to upgrade that transformer, and also some relocation of the electrical conduits and wiring in conflict with the ductwork that we went in.
How many buildings do we have in this district now that are at least 100 years old?
Goodness, probably half of them are before, Tom, you might have some advice, but before 1950s, that probably half of them are.
Richley
I would
and
say
East and
10?
In that order, yeah.
old things like me, they just keep going.
Okay, any more questions? Hearing none, take the roll.
McFarland.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Zimmers.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
That is 7 aye votes. The motion carries.
I normally try to end the meeting, but then usually something, superintendent has something. Anything tonight?
wasn't me. No, I
Anything?
introduced
No?
people.
No, good.
I won't interrupt you, I promise.
I have
Okay,
one
then.
thing.
Oh, she does.
Okay.
You got it.
See what you did there?
This coming Friday is our new superintendent's birthday.
Oh.
So I think we should say happy
Newspaper,
birthday
you have to roll my
since
age
we
now
won't
in
be here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So I think we should recognize her for her birthday.
Yeah, I was
Friday.
hoping the newspaper would know so that they keep printing that same age behind my name.
Is that 39?
Yes, 39 and holding,
Good.
most definitely. No, not quite, a little bit older. Thank you very much.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Anybody have anything else? Hearing none, this is the end of this meeting. The next regular meeting will be Tuesday, September the 2nd. Everybody have a great week.
Thank you.